Thanks for your support as a channel member, Justin Inokaitis. We're a sixth of the way through Season 2 already, and we find ourselves fourth in the Constructors' standings. We're heading to Monaco today, and hopefully we can continue to tighten our grip on that position. Hello folks, and welcome to episode 26 of Haas using F2 and GP2 champions only. We're gearing up for the Monaco Grand Prix, the crown jewel of Formula One. We're already at round 4 and we're in the end of May, start of June. So because we've got fewer races, it spreads them out across like the allotted space, if that makes sense, of the calendar. So we've had fairly big gaps between races to get upgrades ready and things manufactured. So yeah, we're progressing nicely. As I said in the intro, 4th in the championship, a point ahead of Alpine, 6 ahead of Mercedes. Let's have a look at the facility upgrades that I've been doing. So I'm upgrading the race simulator so that we get more driver development, which hopefully will mean Felipe Drugovich improves quicker, meaning we can maybe retain him for season 3. And I'm also upgrading basically everything here because they all come with team attractiveness boosts, which we're going to need if we're going to sign a better driver, a la a Pierre Gasly, or, I mean, my real hope is that we can sign Charles Leclerc. But at the moment, he's not interested. We need to make our team more attractive to him. And first of all, maybe finishing ahead of him in the Constructors' Championship would be good, but that's going to be tricky. Again, we could sign Pierre Gasly. He's open to negotiation. George Russell isn't interested. Of course, these are all drivers who have won the F2 or GP2 championship. And we should also keep an eye on who is actually leading that series this season. It's being led in the teams by Trident, and Jack Doohan is doing the business for them at the moment. Arthur Leclerc and Oliver Behrman are not far behind, as is Victor Martin. So we'll keep an eye on this as we go through. But moving to the Monaco Grand Prix, no updates to show you. But what I thought I would do is have a little comparison to Haas versus Alpine and Haas versus Mercedes. So we're better at low speed than Alpine and better at high speed. And we've got better top speed, acceleration and DRS effectiveness. We are much better with the DRS open. That is quite a significant difference. And we're much lighter than them, but they do a better job at cooling their brakes and engine. That said, they are a Renault power unit, so they probably need to do a lot more work on keeping their engine cool. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. How are we in comparison to Mercedes? It's a fairly similar story. Mercedes is slightly quicker in a straight line, but yeah, we're stronger in low speed and high speed. So based on this, we should be ahead of both of them this weekend in Monaco. So let's have a look at the grid average, and we are 7th for low speed. So that makes us the 4th fastest car, which, you know, considering we're 4th in the championship, kind of tallies. So yeah, hopefully that was sort of giving you an insight into how this season is progressing. I am working on some more upgrades. So we're designing a new underfloor, a new rear wing. We're manufacturing a new front wing and new rear wing, which will go on the car in time for the next race in Italy, which is that's the weekend after. So we should have that in time for the Italian Grand Prix. So yeah, there's more coming to this car, and hopefully we can close the gap on Ferrari. But first things first, we need to make sure we are beating Alpine and Mercedes, and that starts right now in Monaco. Bad news in Q1, Felipe Drugovich 17th fastest, but there is a silver lining to this. Pierre Gasly also out in qualifying 1. I think we got traffic with Drugovich on both of his laps. He didn't improve on his second run, although it was with used tyres. Hulkenberg P6, so maybe we could be on for a Q3, and we're ahead of both Mercs and the sole remaining Alpine. So I'm going to go through Q2, hopefully see you in Q3. We are right on the bubble in Q2. We're just following on the 2D screen Hulkenberg's lap. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. I think Ocon is on an in lap. No, he's on an out lap. That's not ideal. Let's see what things are like on track. Yeah, the Alpine is going to be either in our way or giving us a tow. Well, he's got out of the way. That's fine. So I suppose That's decent for us. We are in by 1,000th of a second to Bottas. We haven't improved in Sector 2. We need a good final corner here through Anthony Nose. And Hulkenberg jumps up to 9th. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Who is on a lap? Bottas is on a lap. Ocon is on a lap. Let's see how they are doing. No improvement first sector for Bottas. What about Ocon, who we are about to get in the way of? He's not improved Sector 1. And Bottas not improving his lap either. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him and stays 11th. Ocon goes 11th as well. So we are into Q3 by the skin of our teeth. And both Alpines are out. But Mercedes getting ahead of us there by a significant chunk. Hulkenberg half a second slower than Hamilton. Let's see what we can do in Q3. Here we go then, final lap of Q3. We're actually quite close to George Russell, which could be a blessing because he's currently P4. But if he doesn't do a good lap, he's absolutely going to hold us up. So let's see what the sector colours are like. Russell is improving, as is Hulkenberg. Our first lap was on used tyres, so this is promising to say the least. Slipstream through the tunnel, please and thank you. As the checkered flag is now out. Who hasn't started a lap yet? Or Stroll hasn't. I think he's done his lap. Middle sector then for Hulkenberg is an improvement. Russell also improving. So this is good news and bad news for us. We don't want Merck to be ahead of us, but they're actually helping us get up the grid, hopefully. Maybe we can get ahead of Alonso, who... no, he's gone 4th. that optimism is gone. So Russell goes across the line and stays 6th. Hulkenberg jumps up to 7th. Nice work. Stroll did start his lap, so I would think we're going to be bumped down to 8th. But Hamilton and Norris are on in laps. So let's see how Stroll's lap goes. He stays 8th. We'll start the Monaco Grand Prix from 7th on the grid. And I will take that and run, because that is the best lap we've done all afternoon, a 9.2. Our previous best, a 9.3 in Q1. So what was happening in Q2, I don't know, but 7th is good, and we know the 2-stop in Monaco is super powerful, so we'll be doing that. So we are indeed doing that 2-stop strategy. I've underfueled by 3 laps with each driver. My thinking being, we want to preserve our power units as much as possible, but we also want that pace benefit from being lighter. Hopefully we can sit in a DRS train. Drugovich, we might box him early. I might tweak that strategy and bring him in early and get a nice little undercut on the midfield ahead of us, but we might have to put him on the hard tyres to do so. But the 2-stop strategy is powerful. Strong likelihood of safety cars and red flags in this race, so we need to be on our toes to respond to that. So it's time to do a motor race. It's an all Red Bull front row in Monaco, and we've got 5 red lights coming on. There they are. The lights are out. The race is on. And what's Hulkenberg up to? I think he's immediately jumped George Russell for P6. That is a beautiful start. Russell's on hard tyres, by the way. That's not smart from the Mercedes team. Are we going round the outside at Mirabeau? Or we're going through at Casino Square. We're just going to run side by side here in Monaco, which is just, the normal thing. A lot of hard tyres here early on. A lot of hard tyres. So on our softs, we're going to need to make some progress. And basically, this is what you do in Monaco. You drive in clean air. So you're basically always looking for a way past. And that's exactly what Hulkenberg has done. He's found a way through. And that is position 6 for Haas. Great start. Drugovich also up a position. Overtake failed. You definitely just overtook him, bro.
Keep pushing.
I don't know what you're on about. Right, let's get Leclerc. And we have got Charles Leclerc. Hulkenberg round the outside at Saint-Devote. And just better grip, better traction. Powers up the hill, past the Works Ferrari. Takes the inside line and the position. Let's check in with how things look on the track. Felipe Drugovich is up to 14th position. And actually has peak confidence. So this is doing him the world of good. He's in a DRS train which Bottas is leading, and because Piastri's got DRS, Drugovich can't get through either. But what we'll do is just conserve our fuel. And I think we'll do the same with Hulkenberg and then deploy the battery. So we're going great guns. We're actually in DRS range of Alonso. So we are quick right now. Yes, we're on softer tyres than the opposition. And we've committed to making another stop. But this race can change on a dime because of a safety car or a red flag. So depending on where we are when they happen, we could be, very much in the game, or it could completely ruin us. Here comes Felipe Drugovich then to the pit lane. It's a clear, empty pit road for him as Leclerc gets back in front of Hulkenberg. Nice stop, 3.1 seconds. It's not great, but it could have been a lot worse. For some reason, Zhou Guanyu is just terrible this season. He keeps being way off the back of the pack. What tyres is he on? He's on hards. He's already 12 seconds behind Albon. I don't know what's happened to Zhou, but yeah, he seems to have just been completely nerfed. Unless he's got no ability. I'll have to check that and see what's going on with him. But let's get Drugovich up to speed, get the tyres warmed up, and then see where this undercut puts him. That's Nico Hulkenberg exiting the pit lane in 11th place. So it's not a brilliant position because he's got to get past Lando Norris, but it's actually done alright because there's Norris and then there's 7 seconds to Ocon, who's 6 seconds behind Russell. So there's definitely opportunity here for us to undercut Hamilton and Leclerc, who had both got ahead of him, and I would assume that they are both on the one stop. Hamilton, yeah, definitely on the one stop, and we will be faster now, and then we'll be faster again later when everyone else is on old tyres. So this strategy under green flags will come together for us. It's just, where do those safety cars fall and potential red flags that could trip us up. Drugovich going all right. Gasly and Ricciardo have boxed and come out behind him. He is 8 seconds behind Piastri, who I don't think has stopped. No, he hasn't. So the next the closest driver to Drugovich who has stopped ahead of him is his teammate Hulkenberg. So we might be in for a nice little undercut there with Felipe. We've not made the progress I was intending to make with Nico Hulkenberg, and in fact we've regressed because Lance Stroll has come past. We've got stuck behind Lando Norris, and we couldn't overtake the McLaren, even though he's on old hard tyres, and there goes Lance Stroll in the pace-setting Aston Martin. So I can't say it's a surprise that he's come through, but it is certainly disappointing, and we do need to find a way past the McLaren still, which is going to hurt our race. So we do need to deploy this battery later on in this lap and see if we can find a way through. But are we close enough? With 6/10 back, we need to attack on the tyres. We probably need a bit more battery. Norris won't have DRS. Let's deploy the battery. Are we driving in clean air? We are. Can we find a way through, please, Nico? Oh, he's going to... Oh, there we go. It was brave on the brakes. We're still having to attack on the tyres. I think we'll just about be okay here. And as long as Lando doesn't send it... He sent it into the hairpin. There we go. We're still going side by side. Come on, Nico. Put this to bed. There we go. That'll do. Although Lando is still going. He's still coming back at us. He wants to really go for it. This is really not smart from Lando Norris. Really not smart. And we're still... We've lost the position again. For crying out loud. All that effort for nothing. So this being stuck behind Norris situation has meant that Leclerc has stayed ahead of us on the track, and now on mediums he will be able to pull away from us. So we did stay, well, we got back in front of Lewis Hamilton, which I suppose is one positive to come out of this, but we could have been in such a strong position. We could have been closer to Sainz. Stroll might not have got ahead of us, but we've just not got the job done. I'm hoping now that with a full battery, Lando will be a thing of the past in terms of being a nuisance to us. There we go. About time. And now Nico Hulkenberg can crack on with the rest of this race. It's time for Felipe Drugovich to get himself a set of soft tyres. Gasly's in the pit lane as well. We've actually held him up as we come down the lane. And 3.2 second stop this time for him. We should now be quicker than Gasly, and maybe we can catch the Frenchman ahead of us. Hülkenberg isn't far away from his pit stop either. He's just been overtaken by Perez, who's on fresh softs, which shows you they are the thing to be on right now. And George Russell is about to do exactly the same thing and overtake us there. We are now going to bring Hülkenberg in for this second stop. Hülkenberg's actually returned to the track in 9th because Ocon stopped. Drugovich is scrapping it out with Magnussen, I think. Has he just lost a position, I think? It's Ocon who's now ahead of him, so maybe we can put some pressure on that Alpine. But Drugovich doesn't quite have the pace that I was hoping he would have right about now. So let's see if we can get Hülkenberg up to the back of Russell. 23.5 seconds to close. That's quite an ask. So we could just be ending up settling for 9th at this rate. Here's Felipe Drugovich making an overtake on Kevin Magnussen, who isn't driving unsportingly today. He's actually behaving himself. I'm recording this the day after the Miami Grand Prix weekend, so yeah, Kevin's big in the news right now. And here is Nico Hülkenberg, who is going to be... Wow, he's closed a little bit on Russell, but I don't think he's going to be closing nearly enough. He's actually just been 0.4 slower than the Mercedes driver. Make that half a second. So we are much quicker than Stroll and Perez ahead, but they are some 40 seconds up the... they're some 20 seconds up the road. We are now up into P8 because Lance Stroll has stopped for a fresh set of soft tyres. They have realised that the championship leader was just going to fall out of the points potentially, and he needed some fresh tyres. So he's probably going to come and catch us, which is far from ideal. We're approaching the final lap here in Monte Carlo. We have fallen behind the Aston Martin of Stroll, who actually hasn't caught George Russell. So Mercedes are going to bag themselves 6th and 7th, and we're going to pick up 9th place, which is actually Hülkenberg's worst result of the season so far. But, you know, it's 2 more points than Alpine are going to get, and they're the team I really want to beat after last season. So that's fine. Drugovich has recovered fairly well to 13th. He's only 10 seconds or so behind the Alpine duo, and he's actually just taken the checkered flag because Verstappen has already won the race. Here's Hülkenberg coming to the line. The strategy hasn't quite worked out. We've fallen back from our 7th place grid spot. And yeah, 9th. We'll take the 2 points. That's okay. But yeah, it really could have been more had we got past Norris, who's actually going to finish 10th and pick himself up a point. So that's done him a favour, although Gasly could get into the line perhaps. So kind of rooting for Lando here. And he picks up that 10th place. So yeah, that means Alpine score no points and we've got 2, which, you know, that's not too bad. Let's see what it does for the Constructors' Championship then. Mercedes jump up into 4th place, 6 points ahead of us, and we extend our lead to 3 points over Alpine. McLaren pick up their first point of the year. Hülkenberg remains 7th, no longer tied with Charles Leclerc though. George Russell just 4 points behind our driver. Where's Drugovich in all this? He's 14th at the moment. Yes, second of those who've yet to score. Well, I suppose 2 points is better than nothing at all. Make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on the video for me. Subscribe for more F1 Manager content in the future. I'll see you for the next race, the first sprint weekend in Italy at the Monza, the legendary Monza circuit. Remember, you're the best fans. It's bye for now.